I love that it's like, just remember the order of its attacks. After you attack it the first time, it uses Revenge Stamp, which deals low damage. Then it uses Emerald Beam, which deals around 6,000 damage to one person. Then it revives its 4 eyes, which use an attack dealing around 2,000 damage. Then it uses Air Tam, which will deal at least 5,555 damage to your main attacker. If you plan your summons just after Emerald Beam and Air Tam Storm respectively, you won't have to worry at your level.
I hate all these smug assholes, oh my god.
Welcome to No One Can Know About This, a podcast where we play every Final Fantasy. I'm Jeff Ekman.
And I'm Ryan Kazmiski.
And here we go. Season 4, Episode 44, Part 1.
I've already started just doing breathing exercises before we record these, because this is going to start getting so tense.
This I've been waiting for the entire season. Like, I've mentioned this upcoming two-parter for so long, and now we're finally here. I'm pretty excited about it. It's going to hurt a lot to listen to.
Some stuff, I don't even know what episodes, but I know there's some stuff that I'm just flat out ashamed of, like just where it went.
So, what you have ahead of you today, if you listen to both, is a lot of time in the Gelnica grinding.
Yeah.
We're going to get ready, and we're going to make an attempt at Emerald Weapon at the end of this two-parter.
There's stuff in here that it's like, God, I hope I'm never, like, accused of something and have to go to court, because you could play this stuff just as character assassination, be like, look at the rage inside of this man. Like...
But only Final Fantasy brings it out of him.
That's all that...
Yeah, I mean, think about how the season premiere was a two-parter and how much story and content actually took place over that amount of time, and how literally nothing is going to happen over the next 2 hours of your lives.
This is like the inverse two-parter. This is just like a two-parter out of necessity. If like it's just got to get through the grind.
Yeah, we got to get through it in some kind of a reasonable pace.
Because where are we at? We've still got to level our W summon up. We haven't even done that yet. We have to level up
Knights of the Round.
Mime. We haven't even touched at all.
We haven't even touched Mime.
Yeah,
there's a
HP
lot.
Absorb.
There's a lot to do, a lot to figure out. We're a long way from doing it all.
I mean, it's not. I don't think I'm exaggerating by saying we're still at the beginning of the materia grind. Like, we haven't even really started.
Yeah, but before we get started on all of that, I'd like to check in with Daniel K. in the parallel universe.
Oh, yes, please. Just take me, let's clear our heads and do something fun for a minute.
Yeah,
see the exciting saga of what's happening.
It's fun for us to listen to. It doesn't sound so fun to experience.
Well, isn't that like what most entertainment is about? You just kind of like watch.
That's true.
Whether fictional or real, you watch some person suffer and you like gain some catharsis out of it or something.
And maybe we'll find out the weather too, you know? I mean, that's
exactly.
part of it. So, we have a scheduled interaction with Daniel K. in the parallel universe. Let me tune the dial, and here we go.
Meteorology, the study of the atmosphere.
Alrighty. Hi, Jeff and Ryan. How's it going? It's time for that weather thing, huh? Sorry if I'm sorry if I'm a little distracted. You caught me in the middle of our most recent push into rat-held territory. Yeah, we're making some bloody headway into their heartland by sticking down to the tighter tunnels, where their size is less of an advantage. It's been some long overdue payback for those first devastating skirmishes in the Great Human Rat War. So I better make this thing pretty quick, huh? Temperature is currently 31 degrees, and we've had a top of 36, a low at 29 degrees Celsius, and there's been no... Oh, hang on! There we are. No sign of the sun yet today. No, just a reassuring warm red glow at midday to remind us that ours is the righteous path, the path of blood. No expected precipitation, but there may be some light acidic rain or fog in the early hours of tonight. Oh, dear. Oh, clearing up again before the morning. God, my arm! Oh, God. Oh, sorry, guys. Oh boy, it's getting kind of hairy over here, so maybe I better sign off. I'll see you next time.
Meteorology.
Wow, the battle is on.
Yeah, it seems like they're pushing forward.
I guess he's grinding
Grinding out rats is what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, his journey is kind of paralleling our insane journey in a
What a
weird
coincidence.
way. He's fighting off monsters,
Really
and you're right. It's
How could that have happened?
what a weird. Could it have been planned this whole time? No.
That's just how the cosmic strings of the eventualities work.
Look, sometimes you hang the hat
The
on it.
interconnectedness of it all, the great oneness of the multiverse.
I'm just happy that the tides seem to be turning. You know, he's got the one true way. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to find out what happens next.
Yeah, well, let's hear us stumble our way into the one true way.
Yeah.
Which,
Well, I think we start with the breakfast, where we go out and reorient ourselves after that, because it's a new day. And
yeah, this was like, what, like maybe a
a
week?
few days later, at least.
Or
I'm not
something? Yeah.
something like if it was a Saturday, it's now a Tuesday
So it
or
really
a Wednesday.
became this like thing that I got to, and I don't know about you, but I would begin to anticipate and dread of like, I'd be like, oh, I'm halfway through the week and I have that day off, so what we're gonna do instead of taking the day off is like go grind for
work.
10 hours or
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, away we go. And I think on the breakfast, I'm talking about like varying your entertainment diet. And that if you can keep watching the same thing over and over again and it's a depressing thing, or keep doing the same video game over and over again, that it really affects your emotional state in a deeper way. So let's get going on that.
Well, because as has been made clear, I spent the last 2 months in like a war hole.
Yeah.
In like a foxhole in fucking Verdun. To the point where I realized, like, you know what the last thing I watched before we went up to the cabin, and I described this to you on the drive up, was a fucking movie about the Nazis having a private meeting to decide how they're gonna kill all the Jews.
Yeah, that's
Like-
not like a fun thing.
Like, that's what I was like, it's so weird to me, and this hadn't happened to me in so long, and the last time it happened to me this badly, it was also about World War II and the Holocaust,
Oh man.
where
Yeah, this is just a slippery place for you to stand.
I'm just like, right, and I'm so fascinated by it, and I'm so interested in it that I get into this like mindset where I want to
and then it's
watch
like
it.
you're just suffering watching
Well,
this.
then 2 months later, separately, you're fucking depressed.
Right.
Like, you are legitimately, it is affecting your psyche in a deep way.
Yeah.
And you don't understand that it's related to the fact that all you're watching is the worst parts of humanity.
Right.
But yeah, as soon as I started watching Doctor Who, even though it was terrible, I felt like a weight lifting off of me, and that like something was melting away, and like my like intenseness was like I was like, oh my god, I'm me again.
Right.
I was like, I used to love television that's light and fun and adorable. That's like what I wanted
Yeah,
to
that's
write.
what you wanted
was
to do.
this, and like I've been I've
You've just
removed it from my life for months.
Yeah, no, it's not good.
Guys, don't just do one thing.
Yeah, especially if that one thing is like pretty dark.
Yeah.
I remember, like, in and right after college, for some reason, I decided that I only like to listen to doom metal.
Oh, really?
And then when that becomes, like, the soundtrack to the world, like, you're seeing, like, you're driving down the street and there's, like, kids playing at school, and it's like, jurr, 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 jurr. Like,
And
just,
you're like, all these kids are
you're
doomed.
just kind of, like, it paints the whole thing pretty bad.
Yeah, I believe
It just,
that.
You know, you don't want to do that.
Balanced
And that's about it.
entertainment life. That's what you want.
I went into the cabin in like the worst headspace in a weird way, and like I'm sure it wasn't coming across all the time, but like I just feel so much better than I did.
I don't know. I mean,
You were picking up a little bit.
you seemed like, I don't know, listless or stressed, or I don't know. I was
Yeah,
like,
it
what's
was
going on with this
because
guy?
all I was
Parts of
doing
it.
was listening to hardcore history, and then when I would turn that off, I would turn on World War I documentaries. It's not a good way to live. The blanket of depression feels so good.
But also, yeah, I mean, also,
You know,
I was
let me
gonna
just
say, I
curl up
love
in that
I love
bed.
doing a deep dive, though, going like all the way as far as I can on one thing. I was thinking about it, and I feel like the day of grinding we did was worse than anything we did in Final Fantasy 1. Just because Final Fantasy 1 sucked so hard because the progress was slow, but you were always like at least making incremental progress. This is like stasis. Like you just are fighting the same three dudes.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
Just forever. With no real sense of progress at all.
Yeah, there was also something about like the fact that like Final Fantasy 1 is all that, and this was like a great game, and
Until
now
this.
this.
Yeah.
I had the thought last night about Emerald Weapon and how we might beat him. Because it seems to be you need to take off all the materia to beat him.
No, but you need your HP pluses all the way up.
So
So you gotta have your health all the
right.
way
So I
high.
think that what we do is we only have HP pluses as materia on.
Yeah, no W summon, no Knights of the Round.
Yeah, well, it's like you're sort of right. We need to not be loaded with
We
materia.
need to limit it.
Yeah.
Like we need to keep it to like 4 marbles max. And I just had the thought last night. I was like, we gotta lose our marbles. We gotta lose our marbles in order to beat him.
Yeah, you do have to lose your marbles.
In every sense of the
It's
phrase.
almost like some kind of intense tantric exercise where to get through it, you have to completely lose yourself.
I'm all about the next attempt being strategy heavy, reading up, figuring out a thing, and trying it.
Yes.
Monday, November 5th, 2018. Forces of good and evil are lining up for a showdown. This will be the end of all things, one way or the other. And of course, talking about Final Fantasy VII.
Of course you are. What else would you be talking about?
The election tomorrow. We don't know if we can win, but we have to try.
We just gotta grind out those votes. So you're excited to play again?
I've been dreading this.
I'm like so not excited to turn this game on.
It's gonna be fucking awful. Well, we'll see. We'll try to make it as pleasant as possible. It's just a huge shift in gears from watching The Good Place to doing this. Ugh, like the transmission's gonna fall out of my stomach. Oh, we're gonna go down to the Gelnica. Is that the plan?
I don't know, man. Like,
I think we have to.
if you have 9 materia on one character, it's gonna be instant death when he does that move.
Except for Phoenix. If we can get our final attack materia leveled up too, we get 2 or 3 Phoenix summons.
Man,
So,
fucking, we have to level that up all the way.
well, luckily, I think the good news
is there
in
a
this-
faster way to level up materia? Because I think it's more important for us to level up the materia than the XP.
Not
of our
really that we
characters.
have, but that's the good news is leveling the materia is going to go faster than leveling our levels. So
I obviously haven't looked at how much AP it takes to level up like W Summon
No.
because these materia we have to level are not like ones we've had before.
No, we're
They
going to need a
take
lot more.
exponentially more, just so much more AP. It's crazy.
I'm gonna look up to see if there's a better place than Gelnica for AP.
but I'm not convinced that XP doesn't matter just as much right now. I don't think we're high enough level.
Yeah, you might be
Because we're
right.
going to have to level for Ruby anyway. Like, even if we can get Emerald now, we're still going to have to put in...
I mean, we could try to be morphing these monsters that are in Gelnica into those, like, tabs that we take and increase our stats.
Right, but then we'd have to get Yuffie down here, who's low level, and stop
Well,
leveling.
I think
one
that
of-
you could try to just do morph. Usually, Yuffie's thing makes it so that it's easier to morph things. Wow. Apparently, if we beat Emerald Weapon, if we do it with, like, triple growth stuff, he gives a lot of AP.
We can get this final attack. Look how leveled it can be.
It's almost to the... Oh, it's not even close to level.
Yeah,
It's still on its first star.
Yeah, and that one isn't even one of the big ones. Like, there's some that require even more AP.
Yeah, and this is going to take like 20,000 AP just to get to the second level.
And we're getting how much per fight? Like,
Some of the enemies in the Gelnica give 70 AP, which if you times 3
oh my god.
and triple growth that, you got a couple of AP there.
Jeez.
And what does it more stars on that do?
I assume that it allows it to happen again and again. You know, just like all, you can use all more than once. The more stars you have, the final attack will final attack again and again.
And just to be clear, final attack happens after all of your party is dead. So
Well,
if you-
whoever it's on when they die.
right, so if they die and it's paired with Phoenix, then it'll summon Phoenix and
If you
bring
have enough
everybody back
MP
to
to
life.
summon Phoenix.
And then also we'll need to upgrade the Phoenix, right? Mm-hmm. In the Gelnica, the pure physical attack beast has 11,000 HP. The floaty kite thing has 12,000 HP. And the flower has 13,000 HP. I track those values to know when to morph. Do-do-do-do. Back in the fucking menu, listening to this music. Brutal.
Yep. Alright. Gonna try to not think about it for as long as I can.
I keep like Googling around for information that's not what I'm already being told. Like it's gonna,
Like you're gonna find something that.
Yeah. While we're sitting here doing that, I keep being like, but maybe there's a way out.
So we start trying to morph enemies.
Yeah, which is like a good idea, but slows our progress down so far.
Well, it takes 1/8 of your normal attack.
Well, yeah, like we've
damage.
explained before, this is like catching Pokemon. So you got to whittle their health down as low
Yeah.
as possible, because the final attack has to be a morph, which is going to do like, I don't know, 150 damage or something. So
Right.
you've got to get them like right on the edge and then kill them with morph.
But in my mind, it's at least like something to do while we're doing this.
Yeah, it's like a soft goal we have that we're always trying to do.
We might be able to. Damn it!
Yeah. It's really hard to get him to where 200 hit points is gonna be the finishing blow.
Oh, it's only 200?
Yeah, it does like a couple hundred damage.
That's why Yeffy's thing is so useful.
Right, because she just does her attack and it also morphs.
But yeah, let's get 4 cut. I just don't. This just sucks, dude. Like,
Oh, I agree. There's nothing I like about this, man.
yeah, I'm like speechless about it. It's like
I
don't want to do this.
Advocate for this shit.
Something about like walking around in the woods would be better because it's at least the woods.
I mean,
and
yeah.
you're outdoors. Whereas
music-
here we're in this U571 down here.
The music down here drives me kind of nuts.
I can't believe these are the hardest enemies in the game. Put goblins out there? That's it?
Put some shit out there like in Tangier to go find or something that's like really out of your league, but if you beat him, you get a lot of XP or something, you know?
I mean, that's what they did in the last game.
I love how we're like filling this suggestion box for a game that was made like so long ago that every one of these complaints is like well known, has been hashed out a billion times.
Yeah.
Like, we are adding nothing. This is terrible, and everyone knows it, and they knew it when they made it too. Like,
I bet that morph came close.
Closer than the rest.
That was a critical morph.
Critical hit, yeah.
Come on, baby. Do it. Oh! Yeah, I need to like change my whole mindset. Fucking should watch The Good Place while we do this.
Well, I mean, I say I'm gonna do this for an hour, and then I'm gonna hand you the controller, and then you do it for an hour,
Uh-huh.
and then you hand me the controller, and I'll do it for an hour.
Oh, God.
And then we'll see if it's time to eat dinner.
Dude,
What?
I just hate this day. I don't want to do it. I just wish it was like there was anything else in this game to do.
Well, we're still gonna get to see that scene today, so be excited for that.
It just doesn't seem like there's anything funny about it anymore.
I'm sure there is.
I'm sure there is, but like I certainly can't see it right now. Well, what should we do for dinner?
I don't know. I'm not hungry at all.
Me either. Let's see. What level? What is the recommended?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Why didn't we look that up? That's exactly what we should know.
For ultimate weapons, 60-ish should suffice. For emerald/ruby, at least 70. Huh. This indicates that emerald is harder than ruby.
Oh really? Because I read a thing that was like Emerald Weapon, the second hardest boss in the game or
Well,
something.
this guy, and this is, suspect, says ultimate weapon recommended level is between 50 and 60. Ruby is between 60 and 70, and emerald is 70 and above.
Oh, maybe we're doing this
Dude,
all wrong.
if we are, that would be.
That would just make me so happy.
right?
Oh
Like,
my god!
Wouldn't that make me? Wouldn't
Please,
that make me
random
so
internet
happy?
stranger, please tell me
be
that we
true.
just got bad information.
Hang on.
Oh god.
Never has the potential of being wrong felt so right.
yeah, right. Like if Ruby was really what you were supposed to do first, and that would somehow get you prepared for Emerald.
Yeah, or the fact that we're already above level 70, and that's the recommended level, and maybe there is something else that we're missed.
Well,
but like 10 minutes ago, I was like, I keep scouring the internet for something that we've missed.
The truth is that both of them are so hard that like once you are high enough level to do one of them, you can do the other one
They're
too.
both like damn near equivalent. They just have a different strategy of how to beat them.
Yeah, and like we'll talk about what you get for beating them later because it's like what you get for beating them suggests some kind of order to them that makes no sense at all.
That's
but
right.
anyway, and that's further down the line.
Many episodes from now.
Hang on.
I mean, it would make sense if the one that's underwater is with a timer is the hardest one, right? That would make sense.
That would make sense. All right, let me get multiple things.
Please, just research.
Yes.
Research all around. But God.
I don't want this to be like a parting of the clouds where you see the sunlight, but it's that moment in that movie that everybody loved, The Perfect Storm, where then the storm closes back
the
in.
Timeless classic.
The timeless classic, The Perfect Storm.
So it's not just another storm, it's a perfect one.
Yeah, God, that movie.
That's not how that movie goes. That's not the right accent at all, but you know, that's my take on it.
I think it was a Boston thing,
Yeah,
right?
it was definitely
yeah.
like a guy in a boat from like the
It
East
was like
Coast.
Clooney and Matt Damon, or Mark Wahlberg, one of the two. I think it was Marky Mark. Okay, I'm gonna take you through the emotional journey I just went on. So, Ultimate Weapon can be easily defeated when your characters are beyond level 50. You just need Knights of the Round.
Oh, I morphed him. I got a mind
Oh,
sword.
sick yes! Fuck yes! Emerald Weapon, however, requires that your characters all have 9,999 HP and 999 MP, preferably. Emerald Weapon requires you to have 3 mimes, 1 fully mastered Knights of the Round, 1 fully mastered Phoenix, 1 fully mastered Final Attack, Underwater Materia, and W Summon, including a mastered HP plus, and you should be around level 75 or so.
And now the goal is finally come into view.
Yeah, someone's finally giving us the straight dope, so to speak. The most important thing is that each of these materia be at X level. You know?
Right.
Okay, so maybe the materia grind is what we really need to focus on.
Ruby Weapon can be done at any time. You just need to have more than 7,777 HP on any one character and get one of your characters into Lucky Sevens. What are you talking about?
No, exactly. These people are like, it can be done anytime.
Oh,
Anytime that you can
fuck
get all
up,
of your characters to
asshole.
have exactly 700. Like, come on. That means it can never be done. That's what that means. That's not, it can be done anytime. What a fucker. What a smug asshole. All you gotta do is just make sure your character's health is exactly 7,000.
This guy responds, not to sound noobish, but how do I get a character's HP to exactly 7,777?
Like, that's a strategy that's just, I think, is not gonna work for us.
Go fuck yourself. You'll be done at any time. By the time you have everything mastered, you'll likely be in the 90s. In my opinion, this is one guy on the internet's opinion, at least a level 2 Knights of the Round linked with HP Absorb. W Summon on one character equipped with Knights of the Round, at least 1 mime. The trick to surviving Emerald Weapon is to go in with as little materia as possible.
Okay, well, you're right about that.
And then, it's like you can use Air Tam but to get somebody easily into the Lucky 7 slot.
That washes over you in that moment, and you just kind of and don't really understand. But because that attack is in your control in a multiple of 1111, you can wear 2 materia and from full health be attacked once by Air Tam and wind up at the Lucky Sevens.
Yeah, but it's still not fucking easy because he does other attacks to you before he does Air Tam.
But I just love that, like, that hasn't occurred to you yet, that there's like a method that could happen.
I've already written it off going like, that's just some silly shit.
For Ruby, it's important to know that he's completely immune to everything as so long as 2 people in your party aren't dead. Unfortunately, this kit forces you to 1v1 it.
Should we try to get Lucky Sevens?
I don't want to try it. I mean, maybe. We can get it in Emerald, I think, fairly easily. And then there's this Choco Buckle strategy. A final weapon strategy that I don't recommend. If you have Vincent land 65,536 or more killing blows, you can use a failsafe with the death penalty. What does that mean? The weapon's damage is equal to the number of characters he specifically killed. The value would overflow and reset to 0 when he reaches 65,536. So Square put in a failsafe. If the value were to roll over, it makes it so that the death penalty deals instant unblockable death, which can in fact one-shot the weapons. We're getting into some weird shit.
I know. Like, we literally have to become Neo and fucking see the Matrix to be able to beat these goddamn things. It's so nuts.
There's people going like, Final Attack, how do I breed the chocobos? What do you mean?
Oh, spring children. I'm gonna morph this son of a bitch. It's gonna happen eventually.
Okay, so this guy says, assuming you haven't Knights of the Round and Mime Materia, which is mostly the only excuse for being unable to beat them.
the only excuse for being unable to beat them.
or that you beat Ruby first. So you get the Golden Chocobo and acquire the aforementioned materia. Do you get a Golden Chocobo for beating Ruby?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea what you get for beating Ruby.
To beat Ruby without Mime... Yeah, now Lucky Sevens. Enough with this Lucky Sevens, the internet. I don't want to use it.
Why they think that's an acceptable strategy for an average person looking to beat this is ridiculous.
The idea of an average person looking to beat this in an average way is ridiculous too.
That's the thing, but like that's how we see ourselves, and that's what was funny about at the end of last episode where you were like, we can't call ourselves experts unless we've done this.
I know, and it's like now I've totally flipped her. I'm like, well, you're right. The only real excuse for not beating it is that you don't fucking have it in you to do it. So I mean, are you real fan of this or not? Because I mean, if you have Mime. And anyway,
you got to find out who you really are and what you're really capable of.
Makes me so mad, but they're right.
Emerald, here's another one.
It's not like it's that hard, Chef. It's just strategy. Jeez.
Fuck them. Use W Summon in conjunction with Knights of the Round and have everyone mimic it over and over again. And then that's all that person says about Emerald.
That's what I'm wondering, is if you can get that W summon mime thing to work out, can you just fucking crush him right away?
You might be able to, because part of the thing is, it may even still take 20 minutes, because...
You summon Knights
of the Round like 8 times, and it's like 20 minutes goes by, because the timer doesn't stop for that animation.
Maybe this is the reason that by the end of middle school I had no friends. Could be. It honestly could fucking be. Because I remember my friends at the lunch table, it got my characters to 99, and I was just like, fuck you guys. God damn it. Like, how? Like, good job. God, man. What? You can't even beat Sephiroth?
Yeah.
This is like regressing me, this game. This is taking me back in time. You know, like, Yizmat sucks. But there was some satisfaction to figuring out the strategy, and I like felt like I understood it.
To maintain.
At the end of this, I'm gonna be like, what kind of black magic did we just pull? I don't even know what that was.
If we did the Lucky Sevens shit, then definitely.
We've mentioned this before on the podcast, but Yizmat, that's a reference to a major optional boss in FF12, which we played before starting the podcast, and the experience of playing that boss was what made us go like, we have to record this shit.
It's a boss that takes like literally, we spent 8 hours.
I think we spent
fighting
like
it
7 to 8 hours.
Like you can leave and come back on that one, but we literally just like
nuts, and we were like, why are we doing this?
This is a billion times worse than that.
We just got the final attack materia, really. Mm-hmm. You know? Like, you're supposed to have that fully leveled when you go into these things.
That's the thing, is it's like getting our materia to the levels we want, we're gonna be so high level by the time. Yeah, let's just focus on the materia leveling, I think.
Final attack is in the triple growth, right?
No, I have the HPs in there right now, and once one of them masters, I'll move it up.
Here's what Jack has to say about Emerald Weapon. The rewards you get for defeating both Emerald and Ruby Weapon are fairly lackluster.
Awesome! That's exactly what I wanted to hear about this.
Right?
Hi, Haley. Yeah, I know. You're like, he comes over and I'm all excited, and then they just get angry and they just yell at each other, and I don't know what to do. I morphed him. Power source.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's great. I like that you're able to be doing that.
Knights of the Round mastered. What the fuck, dude? Level your characters. Get them all powerful. Da 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 da.
In all of that shit you read, nobody told you to just not bother. Not a single person.
We're going to add that as the ultimate piece of advice about these things.
That should be at the top of every walkthrough for this. Is like, this isn't worth it, don't do it, but if you want to, here's what you have to do.
Yeah.
So nice of them to put Final Fantasy 1 in the third disc of this game.
Like I said, I think this is worse.
Oh, we still haven't gone to Cactus Island.
That's true. Is that a good place to level?
Earlier in the game. Jack is just like, look, it's the northern crater of the sunken Galnica. And that's about it. You'll also want to equip fire nullifying armor or accessories to absorb Ruby's fire-based attacks. Equip a fire armlet and an elemental materia paired with fire materia. That's how that works?
I didn't know that.
Your reward for defeating Ruby Weapon is the Desert Rose. Returning it to the Calm Traveler will net you a gold chocobo, which is almost useless considering you likely already have one. Congratulations.
What the fuck, good job, Square. You know, it'd be a good reward for beating this thing is getting something that you had to get to beat it.
Seriously, what the fuck?
The idea that getting a gold chocobo for beating Ruby, that suggests that you're supposed to beat Ruby first, because the gold chocobo is really all about getting Knights of the Round
Right?
off that
Like,
island.
that's other than racing the gold chocobo in the gold saucer.
Yeah.
Which isn't the reason to get it.
So
The only reason, like, the gold chocobo might as well be called Knights of the Round because that's what it represents.
I mean, I cannot even imagine going through the hell of beating Ruby Weapon without Knights of the Round.
Lucky
So, I mean,
sevens.
almost everybody who did this the first time and didn't know what the reward was, can you imagine, like,
Oh my
getting a
God.
gold chocobo for this?
And you would just be like, now I have another one?
Yeah, it's...
What do I do with this?
It's less than pointless.
This is a sunk cost fact at this point. This is
It's a fact.
not false.
This is a sunken Gelnica cost fact.
We don't have time to go get the things that would make this faster anymore. You know what I mean? It's too late. We left that back there on the trail. It's not worth going back.
So, what's our cutoff? Cloud getting to 80 and we give it a shot?
I don't have a cutoff, really. I think getting them to 80, like the lower ones to 80.
That was what I was hoping you wouldn't say. Barrett's at, what, 71?
Dude.
This is something that we keep coming back to in these games, where it's like, how sure do you need to be when you walk in?
I mean, how sure are you that last time we walked in we were fucked?
Once the fight got started, I realized we were definitely not even close. But also, there is the thing where, like, I don't know that we had our materia handled.
We still don't.
Right, because it's not high enough level.
Yeah.
God damn it!
It's not like
It's
you can
not-
think your way into being closer.
Like, this is what we keep coming back to
no
this,
way-
where it's like, I'm gonna
telling
think my
you,
way out of this.
Dude, just accept. You're gonna be much happier if you just accept that today is gonna be really boring. It's gonna be a boring
But
day
we
and
spent
night.
a whole day of
I
that.
know, but that's normally what I do with my days anyway. It's just frustrating that our hangout time is boring now too. But my whole life has become this basically. So
Yeah.
this is. I don't
I'm
know.
actually settling into it.
It's hard
a
to
bit.
tell if this is more or less fun than work. I actually think work might be more fun than this.
There are 3 enemies that you're fighting.
I know.
And the
Yeah,
location
you know what?
is the same.
My normal day job is definitely more fun than this.
You at least clean, like, other books.
And I talk to people who come in. I get to meet all kinds of weirdos.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I just fuck off and don't do my job. You know, it's like it's an
Right,
option.
that's an option. You know, like, I'm not gonna sit here and fuck around on my
Like
phone
if
while
I
you do
decide
this.
that I need a 10-minute break right now, it's not going to help us in any way. It's
No.
doesn't work that way here.
I love that it's not even on your mind that a 10-minute break could, like, refresh you mentally so that you can come back to this
But I
tedious
just
task.
know that it wouldn't, because I'd just pace around for 10 minutes going
Like,
fuck.
this is 10 minutes that we're not
fuck,
grinding.
Oh, God. And then you come back and you immediately... This is an activity that I feel like you feel drained immediately upon starting. Like,
Yes.
there's not like a buffer.
Yeah.
Like, it does get worse over time, but it's not like the first few hours are
That's
good.
the thing. We're kind of tracking the 5 stages of grief, and I spend a while in bargaining just now, being
Yeah.
like, "Can I think my way out of it?" And you're like, "Dude, get to acceptance, man." You know,
But then
like,
it
you
takes
heard
so
me
long.
in denial. I mean, earlier, wow, yeah, I'm just realizing how well tracked the 5 stages are.
I feel like it takes so long, though, that you end up just going back into anger and denial again. Because you
that's
get to
the
a
thing.
point
You
where
go
you're-
back into the cycle.
You're trying to have acceptance, but it's just not getting you anywhere.
This is actually the truth of the 5 stages of the 5 stages of denial, the 5 stages of grief is that in my experience, when it really happens, real grief, you more are bouncing around from stage to stage. So like 1 minute you're bargaining, the next you're in denial, the next you're accepting it, and you're like, oh, I've reached acceptance. And it's like, no, you touched acceptance and you're gonna bounce back to bargaining again in a few minutes. It's more of like a stage that you're in, that you're bouncing between,
You're
like
in
a
a
ping
hellish
pong
feedback loop.
Yes, that eventually it ends by spending time in it.
Yeah, once you get your 4x cut leveled all the way up twice or whatever, and then you can cut through your problems, so to speak.
Then you spend most of your time in acceptance.
God, just what's coming? It just sucks to start a day going, we might not even get anywhere today, just like yesterday.
Exactly.
Yeah, by fuck off and don't do my job, I don't mean I like slack all day, but I'll just be like, oh, I gotta take a break for a minute.
Well, yeah, it's like, if you take a 10-minute break, that's not like 10 more minutes where you're not gonna get this stuff done today.
Yeah.
Like, your shift is over when it's over.
I guess that's the difference between running your own
Exactly.
business and working for one, you know? Like, we're really never done with our work. Fuck. The fact that this part of this game is so boring that the only metaphor is business and work. It's like, come on, how can you how could they make this and defend it? Who wants to, why?
Man, when we edit this thing, we're gonna get to the sunken Gelnica, and us in the past are gonna be like, wow, look at this is so cool, and we're gonna be like, fuck this place. I hate it.
It's a nightmare. Dude, last week fucked me up so bad that, like, I couldn't enjoy playing Red Dead all week. I watched my brother play a video game I bought and have been wanting to play all year because I couldn't bring myself to touch a PlayStation controller. I was like, I don't want to. I'm fucked.
Bring Barrett back to life
I'm just
before you
gonna-
kill this guy. Fuck!
It doesn't matter. It's
I
so
know
little.
it doesn't. I
matter
know,
at
but
all, dude.
but it all.
Like, he'll level up next time. And now Sid and Cloud got more, it's fine. They're all one thing. Don't even think of them as separate units. They're all just a thing.
You're right.
All the experience goes somewhere.
You're right.
It falls in. We're not losing it. It's not, like, disappearing. Like, if he had gotten it, then they would level more slowly. There's not even a smart way to do this. That's what sucks.
Yeah. That is what sucks. I guess at a certain point, too, if we really wanted to power level Barrett, we could kill Cloud and Sid.
Exactly. We could take them out one at a time.
God, I wish
that
somehow
make
the
any
math
sense?
made
Does
that
that make
faster.
sense? I don't
I'm
know.
like, I don't think it does. Because nobody in the world has suggested that, but I'm
I
like...
don't think it makes sense.
I think it would effectively be the same amount of time.
But you would see them level more quickly.
Exactly, which would just like each individual...
Yeah, there's no way around it. Morph, 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 morph. No.
Still is like...
Yeah. We're definitely gonna max out our gill, I think.
This is the thing, something is out of balance here. We bought the house, which was literally just to take away some gills so that you would have more room for gill. And we're running out of room for gill.
This is for only the most dedicated of the dedicated who
I'm not this dedicated.
Well, I have bad news for you.
I
about
know.
How dedicated we are.
I'm definitely learning a truth about myself that I didn't know was true,
Which is?
which is that I'm willing to do this shit.
I know. I was gonna say, like, right as you're like, we're not Final Fantasy super fans. I'm looking around me
I know.
at your room.
And we're the future us from season 2
If somebody
going
walked
like,
in
holy
here
shit,
and you were like, I'm not really that into Final Fantasy, they would be like, this guy is insane.
this guy is nuts.
He's a liar. Like, why is he lying to me about this? There's shit all over his walls.
That's the thing. I'm learning a truth about myself.
People often say this, like, knowledge of something doesn't make you immune to its effects,
Yes.
Like, we're like going, we're not
Yes.
really fans of it, but if you spend this long doing
year
it against your
making
will,
this podcast?
you will become... We begrudgingly hear a fact about Final Fantasy, and we go, oh, what's interesting, actually, is, like, that was meant to be this, but it got changed. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, like...
You can't go down the rabbit hole without tumbling down it, I guess.
I know, like, can you have all this knowledge on hand and be like, but I'm not, I mean, like, you are effectively, we fit the mold now.
Well, that's what I'm realizing even in the past is just like, I was like, I'm not this dedicated is what I said.
And then we did it, though.
But then
we
it was
were
like,
that
I'm
dedicated.
realizing the fact is apparently I am.
I know.
I didn't know that about myself.
That's what's all fucked up is like, we like Final Fantasy, but we're not super fans of these games.
Not like this. Not to where, like, I can't wait to do the super bosses. Oh my god.
I'm getting nothing out of this.
Oh, you know you're getting some. With the recording,
You're so right.
it's gonna be good.
Yeah, you're right. I do know that.
And there's our filmmaker's bias coming into play. We probably wouldn't be doing this if not for the show.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not. But I mean, we already decided to do the show, and we are doing it. But now we're going like, we'll get something out of it in the end. I feel like we got something out of it in this sort of painful, gross way.
Sometimes what you get out of a thing isn't a good item, Like,
Yeah.
it's like a debuff.
Yeah, exactly. We were grinding for a long time, and then at the end, I metaphorically got a gold chocobo also, and was like, great, I guess I'm going to ride this thing for a year because I spent so long grinding it out.
That's where we're
All
at.
of this loose metaphor is to say that what we got out of it was the show. But
Yeah.
I don't feel like at least not yet. Maybe we'll reach some sort of Nirvana type revelation by the end, but I'm looking at it going like, this just really hurts you to do this.
Well, that's
what I got
That's
out
what
of it.
I got out of it, is that I don't want to do this, but I am somebody who will.
Yes, I'm right there with you.
I will eventually be getting something out of what I'm doing right now.
But doing it is awful, and it's... I'm gonna come out and say it. Super bosses are a huge waste of time, and nobody should do this. This is effectively not different from getting all the way to 99 in the level 1 in the first I mean, we're not going to do it for as long, but it's the
That's
same
what's so
fucking thing.
like. This is absolutely giving me an appreciation and understanding of what that guy did that I wouldn't have had without this part. Of
Doesn't
the
it
game.
make you like really, really sad?
Yeah, it does.
Extremely. I was laughing so hard when I read that. Now that
Right.
I'm doing this, I'm like, why, man?
No, it actually makes
Come
me
on,
sad.
what kind of point are you making?
Right.
That your life sucks? Give me a break.
Longtime listeners of the podcast know that there's a story out there about this guy, Circle Master, who got to level 99 before the reactor at the very beginning of the game. Took him like 500 hours, and we are just in awe of, in all ways that you can be in awe of something.
And I think he said the reason he did it was because nothing has meaning anyway.
Yes.
Unless you ascribe meaning to it, which we watch. I don't think he ever ascribes meaning to it. I'm just going to go ahead and say what I learned from doing this is that that's fucking not true, because I've definitely done other activities in my life
Yes.
that conveyed much more meaning than this, and I can compare and contrast them.
Did you? I don't know. We're gonna have
Did
to.
I?
We're gonna have to ask that question again in the finale.
Have I
think.
done anything more meaningful than this before?
Well,
Is that-
there's some things.
Well, that's
that
what
you've
I'm
done.
saying. Is
Yes,
like I can
okay.
compare those
Okay,
activities
yes,
in my
all right,
head.
Yeah.
I was at a wedding last week. Like I saw people that I saw when they were children, and our lives have woven in different directions, and they all came back together, and one of them officiated
Yes.
for the other, and my friends have children, and it was beautiful.
You're making
like,
a really
come
good
on.
point. All right.
Have I ever done anything more meaningful than this? I mean, waking up and smiling at the sun is a more meaningful activity than this.
No offense to that guy.
Well, his point was like, achievements are meaningless, so
His
this is
certainly
as good as any. Right.
That's true. That's totally true.
But actually, we're all
Like,
gonna
who is
die,
he,
so
Kefka?
every
Yeah.
achievement is meaningless.
Is he Kefka?
Because
I'm hoping that it was actually just like a thing, like he's played the game so much and he doesn't mind doing it and he's just gonna grind it and it wasn't like a I hate myself kind of thing.
I'm sure he was.
him.
I hope he was listening to podcasts or something else was on while he was just hitting circle.
I think he was probably streaming it or something.
It's just, this is taking so long.
Well, you'll be happy to know that our time material leveled up all the way. That's gonna help us so fucking much.
Is that gonna make time go by faster? Why were we leveling up our time material? We're not even going to use it in these fights.
I mean, he had extra slots, and I don't know. I can't think of anything else to put in there.
Really? Yeah, our priorities, though, are Knights of the Round, Final Attack, Phoenix, and HP pluses. Right?
Yay!
Hit Bird the baby?
Mm-hmm.
Should you level another HP plus?
I mean, maybe we should, actually. I mean, why not, right?
We could put W summon on something and start leveling that in some way.
That's a pretty good idea there, Jeff. If only we could go back in time and bash ourselves over the head and end up in comas and avoid this entire thing.
That would be a better outcome.
Because you have
It
all
really
these,
is
like-
the equivalent of a bag full of marbles.
Yeah, the
in
fact that
menu
you
form.
can't hit it to put all the same type together either, so you can look at like it's just there's no way to remember like there's a restore at the top of the menu and at the bottom, and one has 3 stars and
It
one has
sucks.
5, and
It
then there's a
fucking
restore.
sucks.
It's like
It's the worst.
We just left this in to torment all the people who have emailed us about the arrange button.
Yeah, I know, because we're just like, there's no way to arrange.
This isn't the end of the bitching about having no way to arrange
We're
either.
gonna keep more of it.
Final Fantasy VII, a game that takes you everywhere and then stops and like doesn't let you go anywhere.
yeah, we need another word because calling this like a challenge, this is way more than that. This is some kind of Herculean
A test. Because test isn't the right word either, but it's like I mean that in like the biblical sense. It's an ordeal.
Yeah, I would call it an ordeal.
It's like, what if Sisyphus really spent a long time on it? See, Sisyphus' problem is that he didn't stop, leave the boulder, go push a bunch of smaller boulders up things, and then come back to his bigger boulder.
Okay, it's actually exactly an hour from when I said it was
Yeah, there you go. Now I get to have the fun.
Yeah, I say you do an hour, and then I'll do an hour. And then maybe we'll eat some food, and then we'll see where we're at. That's, I think, that's about as far ahead as I can look.
What a great day.
Hey, at least we get to split the work up, sort of.
Yeah. Crit morph. Crit the morph. Do it. God damn it.
It's really hard to get it.
Fuck this guy.
Barrett has the mime materia right now. Maybe throw that onto Cloud's power leveling,
okay.
and then have Cloud mime Barrett's morph every turn, so you get 2 morphs or whatever. So you get 2 shots at morphing. Mime, it's at the top.
Oh, jeez.
See,
Why?
Because it's just enough things that you can't keep all of it in your head at once.
Is it the
as you're-
same mime?
Yeah, we only have one.
Then what the why?
Because we only ever got one, and we
Why
never
did they
used
put it up there?
Because I don't know, there was a space there or something.
The thing is, we're gonna need 2 mimes, and mime hasn't even been begun leveling.
I know. There's just so much materia we need, and it's kind of like we're focused on a short list, and then once we get that done, we'll realize that there's just another one to add in.
And to be honest with you, I think we're still at a place where we're like, fuck leveling W summon, we don't even need to do it.
Well, I know, because looking at it, it requires so much AP to level once. We're just going like, I hope we can just slide under the bar, just not have to do all of it.
A very terrible strategy.
We're leaving the hardest stuff for last instead of trying to work on it now.
Where is the one that I took off of Dude? It's right in the middle of the menu, where you
Sometimes
never
it
expect
just
it.
drops it. Yeah. I wish it could even, like, when it takes one out of the middle, it shouldn't just leave a space. It should collapse it up, at least. It doesn't.
Everything about the way that menu is designed is the worst. Having 2 people morph is...
Yeah.
Damn it, Sid!
Still, though, we should get.
There's a lot
Just in the
higher...
process, we should get some more tabs at least.
Yeah.
This morning, my brother was like, "So what are you doing today?" And I was like, "Well, we're gonna, I guess, try to beat Final Fantasy VII." And he was like, "That sounds impossible." And I was like, "You're right, it does
It
actually."
does. We're gonna play Final Fantasy VII. Ooh,
A lot of level ups there.
that's great.
God, those summons are slow to level up.
God. Dude, we're never gonna level up Knights of the Round at this pace. We get like 90 AP every fucking time.
I know. There you
Yes! It's a magic source.
go. The more of those we get, the more damage Knights of the Round does.
Yeah.
That's the. See, and now that we know this morph thing, it's like you get to lose even when you're winning.
You're totally right. That's the great thing about that. It's even when you level up, you feel like you
Could have
lost.
gone better. I feel like it's intentionally existentially punishing. Like they wanted this to be like only the truly strong of gut. You know, like you've got to really be able to put yourself through something grueling.
I can like imagine the designers like after the game has been developed and they've been spending too much time with it, know all the systems, like laughing their asses off as they design this. Just like over drinks going like, no, and then no, we'll make it so they have to like level up all of the W summon.
And then we give them a fucking gold chocobo.
Yeah, we'll make it so it takes at least 8 hours to level the W summon. I mean, they're like imagining like their own like Japanese torture TV going like, and they're all gonna be doing it because of us. It'll be fucking hysterical.
They do love torture TV.
We did it, yeah.
This is the real fucking thing. Yeah,
Right.
This is the like, tell people you did this and they won't believe you. You know, like, it's that hard. I guess that's the good thing about it. The social currency of beating these guys in middle school. Holy shit.
Well, you said that. You just said that your friends were telling you that, and that you were like, "Fuck you."
Well, I don't
can't
remember
do it.
my reaction, but I do remember. I remember getting really, really frustrated at this game as a kid.
As a kid.
Yeah. And now as an adult again. Mm-hmm. And as we were playing it, I figured, I must have just gotten frustrated because I was a dumb kid.
Not here.
No.
And there have been times where it's just like, this game is impossible to be understood. We're in the 900,000 gills.
We'll have to go on a fun shopping spree when we max out. Right?
We bought the vacation home and now we're maxing out? Like, fuck this game.
The really fucked up thing is that we're not about to max out, and there's a whole other digit that you can go up to.
Yeah, I don't think we actually even get close.
Why would you ever need that much gil?
It's nuts to me that it goes that high and that there's people out there who set out with the goal, they're not done until they've maxed out the gil, along with the levels and the materia, like fought every encounter, gotten every enemy skill. We didn't even, like, how much more hardcore we could have been.
Right. Yeah,
Makes
there is
me-
that gil plus
makes me
egg
sick.
or whatever.
We didn't get all the, final...
We didn't get the fact that we didn't get everybody's limit break makes us,
Gotta
amateurs.
do it
really.
again.
We
gotta
can't
do
say
it
that we're
again.
experts.
Yeah, we can't.
We just
can't say that now.
it.
Sid, why don't you punch yourself in the face? God damn it. Is Barrett stopped?
Yeah.
God, what? If I game over right now, I'm gonna be beyond upset. All right, Sid. Thank
you
you
got
for
a
hitting
shot.
yourself. Thank God.
That
was
would have
a
been
risky
devastating.
move.
You only got like 30 minutes left on the clock, so just stay alive.
Yeah, I didn't want to ask. This is gonna be the most monster-free airplane under the water ever.
I feel like I should have brought some weights or something. Like I should be lifting
Yeah,
weights
like
while
we
you're doing this, so
should
I can
be
at
doing
least
jumping
be
jacks.
like, yeah,
Yes, power source.
level up.
Leveling up. Hardner. Remember when we were doing voices in this season?
Hopefully by the end of today we'll get to do some again.
At least check out. At least
I
check
honestly
chocolate.
don't know. I honestly don't know if that'll come today or not. This is so fucked up.
There's no other way to put it.
Yeah. God, we could almost put like as much time into this part as we put into the rest of the game. Like that could be true.
Well, what I'm wondering is, because I assume we're going to cut a lot more out of it, but like, how many episodes are people willing to go with us on just grind?
Unfortunately, it's not up to them.
And that's part 1 of episode 44 of season 4.
Good God.
No one can know about this.
Fuck that. I mean, God.
We're getting back to the place of like where the title came from.
Yeah,
You know?
seriously. I mean, just as an activity, I'm hard pressed to think of something that I've actually done. Like, I can think of a worse activity, but of things that I've actually done in my life, even
Is there a worse
things I
thing?
had to do, like work. This is like up there in terms of just this was just like a really
This was another level.
mentally challenging to keep at it. Like to find the well inside of yourself to keep going.
That's the thing. Like, this day, the day that we're in right now, I'm going to say right now, it's not the final day.
No, it's not.
Which, for that to be true, after the day that we had previous to this, which was like, as we had established, was the worst day ever. This day of now pure nothingness, because I was forgetting that we did the battle arena, in the previous day.
Yeah, that was at least like checking something off a list.
And this is just, there's a dearth of anything.
I will be so curious to see how these endgame things evolve over the series, because, I know that by 12, they add in all those hunts,
Right.
There's just tons of little, at least a thing to run and go do.
And they had Yizmat out there, who I think was
Yeah.
technically a hunt. I think it was the final hunt.
Yeah, but to build up to Yizmat and all of that, you know,
Right.
there were like dozens and dozens and dozens
There
of
wasn't
small
just
tasks.
a desert between the end of the game and where you need to be having grinded up to
Exactly.
to do this.
They at least made the desert feel intentional. Like,
Right.
go grind over here this time for that monster. So you're going to different places at least.
Yeah.
But this is like, I wonder if even in 8, if they'll have any extra thing, or if it'll again be a circumstance where it's like, you played the game, and if you want to do the extra shit, there's like really nothing to do except like, just punch again and again and again.
get those muscles toned. So that's the end of part 1. Part 2 is more of the same. And then we're going to make an attempt at this emerald weapon, and I've spoiled the outcome.
You did, yeah. It's all right, though.
No live stream message on this part. If you're interested in getting a message, just email nocappodcast@gmail.com. That's NOCKAT with the subject line live stream. We do payments through PayPal, and they're $25 each, so get in touch. Since this is part 1 of a 2-parter, maybe we'll do a truncated just thank you to everybody on the Patreon
Thanks
for your
to everyone
continued
on
support.
Patreon. It means a lot to us.
Really does. As you can hear, we're going through a lot right now, and your support is what carries us through.
Yes. Yeah, so if you want to be a part of Patreon, it's out there at patreon.com/nocat. Yeah, rate and review us. Tell your friends.
Get all the merch with my dog on it. Do the whole thing.
Check out our online presence in various forms.
Enjoy part 2 right after this. But first, here's a little no one can know about this dessert. I almost want to bail on having to think of a dessert at this point, but we're so close to the end of the season. I mean, fuck it.
Is there like any rock candy that's really good, or is it all the same bullshit?
Oh.
Let's imagine a better rock candy and have that. And don't tell me it's a Jolly Rancher.
I'm not going to tell you that. That doesn't pop. It's got to have the pop.
I don't mean pop rocks, I mean rock candy.
Oh,
like on
those.
the stick,
Oh,
the crystallized sugar.
With the dipping
Imagine a rock
sticks.
candy. No, usually it's just like colored on
Yeah,
the...
no, I know what you're talking about.
You only
It's
buy
like-
it at like old-timey bullshit
Are you
places.
supposed to dip it in any sugar?
I guess you could, but I've always just seen it as like a sharp sucker.
It's what I imagine as like a candy swizzle stick, which I don't really, a swizzle stick is I think something else, but
I don't know what it is.
sometimes it'll come in as like a fancy version of honey like for a coffee at the end of a fancy meal. Have you ever seen that?
I know what you mean. Yeah, those sticks with like the honey in it. And you
Right.
just cut them open.
And yeah,
Yeah, this is like the inverse, where it's a stick with the sugar on the outside.
I think that's what I mean. And I don't mean you break open the sticks. I'm talking about like the really fancy.
Well,
you have a
either way,
stick
what we're having
with like
today-
a crystal on the end of it.
So imagine a rock candy that naturally formed like a beautiful piece of clear quartz, and
Right.
it has like a hard base and just giant sugar crystals that have whatever kind of flavor and texture you want inside of them.
That's what we've got right now.
Like a Mako fountain rock candy.
Enjoy.
It was really disgusting.
What was so disgusting about it? I don't
You were
remember.
just. It was your ability to describe the way his bed was wet that I thought was
Right.
particularly gross.
But I was like, you obviously weren't lit, because I was like, what was gross? And he was like, so you're describing his semen everywhere. And I was like, well, I said you wouldn't want to shine a black light in here.
Yeah, that's all you really
But the
said.
stuff on his bed was just because he was greasy and he hadn't cleaned his sheets.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I thought he was just disgusting
Yeah.
and dirty. Yeah, and hadn't showered.
I think he was not paying attention and was like, and now he's describing scraping up semen onto the sheets. I don't.
It's like your character in this audioscape is touching the semen.